Well, I want to thank you for coming tonight to this young professional. I've had a vision on my heart for a number of years to help people that are 18 to 30 years old. And let me tell you why I've had a vision on my heart to do that. If you don't know my story, I was the head basketball coach at Riverdale High School from 22 years old to 31 years old. Okay? I was the youngest head coach in the state of Tennessee at the second largest high school in the state of Tennessee. And we had a lot of success. We won a championship. We built a culture that's ridiculous. It's now won 7 of the last 9 state championships. I mean, it is a powerhouse. But one of my greatest regrets is that I did not have a great business mentor from 20 to 30. Okay, I didn't start studying business. I started studying business at 18 while I was in college, but I didn't have a coach like coaching me in how to sell, how to make money, how to build wealth, how to overcome adversity, how to bounce back when I got knocked down. You know, I never had that. So when I started this business at 31 years old, which was 11 years ago, that's now a multi-million-dollar coaching business, I was sitting there going like, man, how far would I be in life if I would have got this at 22 or 23 or 25, right? I didn't know the difference between an asset and a liability at 31 years old. I literally went over to the bookstore and I said, man, I have got to grow my financial IQ. I don't know the difference between an asset and a liability. Assets add to you. Liabilities subtract from you. Does that make sense? I didn't know how to read an accounting statement. I didn't know how to read profit and loss. I was just a successful basketball coach, and that's how I got paid, is to win games and win championships, right? So when I started my business, I'm like, dang, there's so many things that I didn't learn from 20 to 30. So what if I had that great business coach from 18 to 25? What if I had that person? Where would I be today? I mean, there's no telling. I've got 13 books out in the market right now. I've got a brand new book out called Inside the Mind of a Monster Producer. I'm getting my wife's writing books now. She's wrote a book called Living with the Monster, which is appropriate. Y'all can figure out which one the monster is. And, you know, what would happen if I would have known a lot of this stuff early in life? You follow where I'm going with this? So when Lakin came to work with me, I said, I want to do something for young professionals. And I'm not talking about just social. I'm not talking about just come together and hang out or have a few drinks and socialize. I'm talking about I want to take my last 10 years of learning how to build something, how to build a successful business, and I want to impart it into them. And I want them 10 years from today, when somebody asks you why you're so successful in real estate and why you're so successful in financial services, I want you to be able to say, man, I got involved in this young professional thing with a guy named Coach Burt. He's the bald-headed former basketball coach. And he taught me things that just blew my life up. Does that make sense? Okay, so tonight is kind of our first night. Here's what I see, because I see everything bigger than it is. That's one of the first things I would tell you. I don't care if you start something with 2 people. The coaching program I have now called Monster Producer, I started with 8 people. There are now 700 people in there. They are not only local, like I do it here, because this is where I live, but we have customers in other countries. We have customers all over the United States. We have people that watch us online. I mean, I was getting emails today from Singapore. I was getting emails today. We're talking about me going to South Africa to do an event. You know, I mean, now we're talking global. We're not talking Murfreesboro. You follow where I'm going with this? So when I see this program, I see 50 young professionals. But I would tell you this, I'm only looking for a certain type of young professional. The type of young professional I'm looking for is a person that is serious about their future, right? That wants to commit to something, that wants to get better, like wants to be great. There's a time and place for everything, okay? There's time and place for everything. But I'm looking for people that are hungry. Does that make sense? So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to go through a little bit of two big concepts. I'm big on strategy. What I mean by that is I think you need to walk out of here with strategy. Like I think you come and you need to walk out here going, there's 2 big things Coach Burt taught me tonight that can help me go to the next level. Does that make sense? I don't want me to just entertain you. I don't want you to just say, man, you know, this was good. I learned something. I want this. I taught at MTSU for a period of time as an adjunct professor. And here's what's funny. I don't know if I should say this on camera, but back in my days of coaching at Riverdale, they wanted me to teach at MTSU. And I would take my lunch break at Riverdale and drive over to MTSU and teach a class. People are like, where's he at, man? He's not, you know why? I was over at MTSU teaching, and I loved it. Because I would come in and teach a class of 18 to 19-year-olds, and I would like teach them things, right? And they like, this is the best class we've ever had. Like, you actually talk to us, you actually care, you're actually giving us something we can do. It was so different than most of their college classes, because I sat in those classes where the professor didn't care about you, they didn't teach you anything, they sat up there and pontificated about how smart they were. I know, because I sat in the same classes. I'm sitting in the back like, when is this dude going to actually teach me something, right? So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to show you two strategies, okay? Two big strategies. One, to find your voice in life. And I think this is really critical. And I wrote a book. This was my first best-selling book. Okay, you like that grammar right there? Good Southern name, 2 double negatives. Okay, double negative in there. This ain't no practice life, right? But when I wrote this book, there's a strategy in here I want to show you for finding your purpose in life. Okay, when the Purpose-Driven Life came out, it was selling 1 million copies a month. The only other book outselling Purpose-Driven Life was the Bible. And it sold 1 million copies a month for like a decade. Now, most books, let me give you some perspective. Most books that you see in the bookstore at Barnes & Noble's or online will never sell more than 5,000 copies. 90% of books never sell more than 5,000 copies. Purpose-Driven Life is selling 1 million copies a month. Why? Why were so many people reading that book? Yeah, nobody knew what their purpose was. So my version of Purpose-Driven Life is this. I actually wrote it before Rick Warren did, so I think he copyrighted it. I think he stole some ideas. Now, this did not sell 1 million copies a month, but it sold a bunch of copies when I wrote it. And so here's the conversation. I'm speaking at an event, and there's 1,000 people there. And at the end of the event, because people know I work with young people for so many years, I always get this question. I got a son. He's 25 years old. He has no idea what his purpose in life is. He's going to a job he hates. He knows he's supposed to be doing something bigger than what he's supposed to do. What do I do with him? I get that almost every time I speak somewhere, right? And I say, he needs to pick up this book, because this book tells him how to figure this out, okay? So I'm going to go through a strategy in here to help you find your voice. I found my voice at 15. Now, why is that critical? At 15 years old, I knew I was supposed to be coaching. Because now, fast forward and look at how many years I've been doing this. Go 15 to 42. What is that, 27 years? So for 27 years, I've been doing one thing, which is coaching people. So when I get up in front of a group of people and you're like, it's natural to him, it's easy to him, he doesn't get nervous. Why? Because I've been coaching people since I was a kid. Right? Now, what kind of advantage did it give me to find my voice at 15? That's right. I had a clear path. I didn't waste time trying to figure this out. Like, I didn't go to college and be like, what am I supposed to do? Then get out of college at 23 or 24 and then spend another 4 or 5 years trying to figure it out and then figure it out at 30. By the time I was 30, I'd already been doing what I've been doing for 15 years. Okay? And I have a theory that I believe it's 10,000 hours of practice when you become great at something. And that is backed up by all kinds of research. So if you're a real estate agent, real estate professional, how many years have you been in it?
Years? 3 months.
3 months. I'm thinking like dog years, man. Here's what I'm saying. For him to have a huge breakout, make more money than he's ever made, help more people than he's ever helped, it most likely will happen in his 10th year. If he stays doing that one thing. Everybody see that? Like, I won a championship at Riverdale in my 10th year. Most people have huge breakthroughs in their 10th year. But here's a stat that is crazy. The average 20 to 30-year-old is changing jobs 24 to 37 times. So what's the problem with that? So think of it as Mark. Mark gets on the bus, don't like it, so he gets off the bus, gets on another bus. Don't like it, goes a little bit. So he goes 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, 2 years even. He's not had enough time to hone and refine his skill to where the market goes. He's good. Does that make sense? Because when you jump on a bus and don't like it, and jump off the bus and jump on another bus and jump off the bus, you don't have time to work those muscles to become world class. So by me starting at 15, and I got to Riverdale when I was 19, and I became the head coach when I was 22, really when I became the head coach, I had already been coaching for 7 years. So there's no surprise that my first big breakthrough was when I was 25. That was my 10-year mark. That was a year that I busted out and had my first 25-win season. Does that make sense? So year one, sucked. Like, we were bad. 13 and 16. And I took so much heat in the media, like in local newspaper. The guy's too young. You don't know what he's doing. It was because I wasn't mature. So we're going out there getting beat because I wasn't that great of a coach yet. Does that make sense? Well, give me a little bit more time. In my 10th year, I started to become a great coach. So what do? From 25 on, I did nothing but have 25 win seasons, year after year, until I kept building, until finally I won a championship, right? And it was really in my 10th year of being at Riverdale. So my first 10-year mark, 15 to 25, that's when I have a big breakout. My first 10-year mark of being at Riverdale for 10 years is when I won a championship. Everybody see that? Now, last year was my 10th year of running this business, and we broke, I don't know, $3.5, $4 million of revenue. Now you say, why is that significant? 96% of small businesses in the United States will never earn $1 million of revenue. Only 4% of small businesses ever break that mark. So if you watch Shark Tank, have you watched Shark Tank? When a business is in Shark Tank and they ask, what are your sales last year? Anytime they say over $1 million, what do those sharks do? They're like, I'm in. Because most of those people go, well, our sales were 50,000 or 80,000 or 500,000. Once it starts ticking over the 500,000 mark, people are like, okay, you're doing something. But what if you said it was 4 million? Then they're like, now you're really doing something. Does that make sense? So that didn't happen, though, until my 10th year of running this business. So for a long time, we were doing 500,000, then 600, then 7, and I was like barely, like a little turtle. Like this year, we made a little bit more than last year. And then in my 10th year, it's like, boom, right? So what's the problem with the young professional today is a couple problems. One, they haven't found their voice. So they're really getting into occupations versus vocations. Everybody see the difference here? An occupation is that which occupies your time in which you receive a paycheck for. So let me give another word to occupation, job. You don't know if you like it, you don't know if you love it, you don't know if you're any good at it, you just need to pay the bills. Everybody with me? I'm going to show you what the problem with that is. What if I'd spent 10 or 15 years in a job and then at 30-something years old, now I'm ready to figure this out, right? How do you think I'd feel at 40? Like I wasted 20 to 30. Everybody with me? Vocation comes from the Latin term, voice or calling in life, which means this is what I was put on planet Earth to do. I'm a faith-based person, and if you read the Bible, just read the parable of the talents in the book of Matthew. It talks about having talents, using talents, and the people that use the talents get more talents. Does that make sense? The people that don't use them don't get any more. Then it talks about a bunch of other stuff that people don't talk about in the Bible. What do you not do when you don't use your talent? So here, let me ask you a question. How can you use your talent if you haven't found it? See, selling real estate is not a talent. Doing financial planning is not a talent. A talent is I take something incredibly complicated and I make it simple. A talent is I can communicate with anybody, anywhere, anytime. A talent is I take groups of people who normally don't function well together and I get them to some ridiculous level together, right? A talent is I can look at a financial sheet and find money that you're wasting and show you how to get that money back. Everybody follow what I'm saying? Well, let me ask this question. I went to college for 9 years, and you're like, man, this dude's slow. No, I went to college as far as you could go. So I went all the way to the doctorate level, what they call terminal level, and that means there's no more college I can go to. I went as far as I could go, 9 years. So that's I want to say almost 400 hours of college credit, okay? That's a lot. How many classes do you think I had? And I'm still paying college loans, by the way. I'm 42 and still, every month I make a college payment. Isn't that ridiculous? Every month. And it's big. Like mine's like $500 or $600. Most college kids can't afford $500 or $600 on a payment back, right or wrong? So they're in debt, and they just keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper in debt. And what's happening is they can't make enough money to support that debt. So they start behind, and they just remain behind. See, luckily, I make enough money now that $500 is nothing to me. But I still like, dang, that's a good chunk, especially since I've been out of college for 15 years. So my point is how many classes did you have in any type of education, whether you went to college or not? And I do not believe college is a prerequisite for success. I am in complete alignment with a lot of people, a lot of success gurus out there, of people that did not go to college that can be very successful because they're not testing you on the right things. If I was doing a college test, here's what I want to know. How tough are you? How tough are you? How well do you handle rejection? How do you bounce back when somebody tells you to get lost? How many people will you pick up that phone and call today, complete strangers? How many doors will you knock on? How many times will you get up and write? That's what I want to know about you. I could care less what your ACT score is. If I told you what mine was, you'd laugh. I think it was like 19. Like I did, but I had like almost a 4.0 at the doctorate level. You know why? I got smarter. So I had my highest GPA at the highest level of education. You know why? 18 to 21, just like every other college kid, man. I'm sitting in geography class, I hate it, and I don't want to learn anything, and I'm goofing off, and I'm looking at the girl beside me, and whatever, okay? How many classes did you have in school in finding your talents? Anybody have one? Okay, tell me about that.
Had a sales course. His name was Joe Calmus at University of Alabama.
Okay.
He started the sales program there. So a lot of energy.
Yes.
And it was more like what you're talking about.
Yes.
Hey, here's how I want to sell.
Nice. So he helped you find your talent.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, that's probably, if I ask 1,000 people, you'd probably be one of 1,000.
Mine was the same thing. It
Okay.
wasn't until my last year at TSU that they started their sales course that I really dug into it and decided that sales was my thing.
That's right. So if you wouldn't have had that, think about what happens. You just go out there and do what? Here's what your parents tell you. Jamie, go get a job. Or you get married. Like, look, we gotta go get a job, man. We gotta have a little whippersnapper. Don't cost money. Go get a job, man. My wife worked at Verizon and sold cell phones for 13 years. She hated it. She hated it every day she went to work. She comes to a workshop I did on this book. She called it being uncomfortably comfortable. She was discontent, but comfortable. So she just kept going. She made $50,000 or $60,000 a year, and she just kept going. Then something comes along. She gets a little hunger, about 30, maybe 33. She gets a little hunger. She's like, man, this sucks. What am I going to do? I got no coach. I got nobody telling me what to do. So she came to my workshop, and she bought this book. And you should see her book right here. It's written up, highlighted, marked through. And she says this book helped her find her calling, which is hospitality, creating events. She designed this whole greatness factory. Like when you walk in here, this was nothing. It was like none of this was here. She had this whole vision, white walls, black windows, industrial look, these signs on the wall. She was selling cell phones at Verizon. So she came to my workshop. I noticed she was kind of cute. And the next thing you know, we're dating each other. And I'm coaching her. I'm like, look, this is what you need to do. Read this book, girl. Read this book. And she's reading my book. And she's like, man, this is changing my whole deal. So guess what she does? She goes back and she quits her job that she hates because it's just a job, occupation, right? She says, it's time for me to find my calling. Now, she was 33 years old when she made that decision. Now, look at what she's doing. Writing her own books. Isn't that cool? She's doing her own retreats. She's hosting her own women's events. She's like, I kind of like this. This is cool. I'm like, great, because here's what I'd like to do. You do the coaching, and I'll stay home, okay? Here's my point, though. What if she didn't read that book?
She wouldn't marry you.
So she wouldn't have married me. That's right. What if the book sucked? She wouldn't have married me either. Here's what I want you thinking, though. Here's what I want you thinking. And I'm just going to put this up here in front of this because this is where I do my best work on it because I'm a coach. So I want you to think about this. On this side is a job. Some people would say just over broke. Right? Some people earn high incomes with jobs, but for the most part. Over here, the job is you're just there typically physically with the body. Okay? That's what I want you to think. You show up every day with the body. They are paying you to trade your time and energy for their money. So here's the deal. I just need you to show up. I need you to be here. I need you to do these tasks. We're going to pay you this much money. Right? Now, let's compare that to over here to a vocation, which means calling in life. Now, you are there in the body. You are there in the mind because you're curious. You are there in the heart. And you are there in the spirit. Now, over here, I'm just here in the body. Everybody see this? Let me make it more simple for you. You're there and you're growing your skill. You're there and you're growing your knowledge. You're there and you're growing your passion or enthusiasm. You're there and you're growing your confidence. See that? Now, let me ask you a hard question, because that's what a good coach would do. Name one thing in your life that you have ever been really, really, really good at that you didn't care about. Name one relationship that you were in that your heart wasn't involved in it, that you were great at. Yeah. It's hard to find one, isn't it? When I don't care about something, I put little effort into it. You know why? This is not involved. See, what's important to me, the most important parts to me of you, of Lakin, if she works with me, is her heart and her confidence. These drive her skill and her knowledge. If she has this one thing, passion, drive, enthusiasm, curiosity, this will compensate for any lack of knowledge that a person has. Does that make sense? So when you hear me talk about if I was hiring, if tonight was a hiring affair and I'm looking at you to come join my team, guess what I'm looking at? I want to know how much grit you have, how much passion you have, how much enthusiasm you have. I don't care how smart you are. You could say, look, man, I got a whatever on my ACT. I'm like, I don't care. Can you sell something? Can you talk to people? Can you show up every day? What if I tell you we're leaving at 4:30 in the morning? Can you show up at 4:30? What if I tell you we're going from, like my day started today, I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock? 6 a.m. I was in the gym with a trainer. I'm 42 years old, right? And I'm still going tonight at 7 o'clock, and I still got energy. Now, I got to go home and be a dad to a 6-year-old. What does she want to do? Run, play, hide and seek, right? So here's the deal. But I got a lot of this, man. I got a lot of this. It's coming out of me. You follow what I'm saying? This is really what I'm selling. You're not selling real estate. You're not selling financial investments. You're not selling insurance. You're not selling banking. What you're really selling is this. Conviction, right? Like you're the guy who can get me to the next level. That's what I want to know. Now, do you see the difference between these two things? This is what, in my opinion, college should be about, helping you figure this out. Because once you figure out how to do all of this, now you're going to go quick. You're going to be great at this, okay? So how do we find our voice? That's really my question. All right, here's the diagram that I want you thinking about. Okay, now this is the first strategy I'm giving you. Okay, this is worth all the money that you paid to come tonight. Oh yeah, you didn't pay any money. All right, that's all right. It starts free, don't it, Lakin? It all starts free. Here's the questions I want to ask. Here's what I want you to draw these circles. Draw these circles right here. Because this is what we should have learned in college or wherever, high school. I really think it should be taught in high school or middle school. All right? This is going to require some work on you. Right, Mr. McAlexander? Man, I love that name. When you leave tonight, this is going to require some work on your part. It ain't like, man, I came to this dude and he just, we had some chick biscuits and now we're out of here. We're going to get better, right? Here's the first thing. Number one, here's what I ask. What do you love to do? And love is a strong word. I didn't say, what do you like doing? Well, I like playing with puppies. Well, I like talking to people. Well, I like looking at real estate. Well, I like making money. What do you, if I said, let me ask it to you this way. Tomorrow, I need you to drive 2 states over to talk to 4 people for free. What would you talk to them about? Do you know? Yeah.
Talk to 4 people. 2 states over.
For free. Look, man, here's the deal. I got 4 people over in Mississippi. It's going to take you 8.5 hours to get there, and they ain't even paying to come hear what you got to say. But you love it so much, it could lead to opportunity once you get down there. What would you talk to them about?
Anything?
Okay.
UT sports.
Are you? Is that what you love?
Yeah.
Can you make money with it?
Sure.
Sure, you could. But here's my thing. That's a tough question, isn't it? Let me ask you another question. If I gave you access to the internet and said, for the next 3 hours, you can study anything that you want to, that you would just dig in and research and study and talk about. Because when I first started speaking, you got to remember, I was a high school basketball coach. I was making $40,000 to $60,000 a year. I was working 80 hours a week. I spoke at a banquet, and a dude in the back came up to me and said, you could do this for a living. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're good enough to go on the circuit. And I'm like, what's the circuit? He's like, successful coaches go all over the world making a lot of money, coaching people, businesses. And I'm like, really? I go home that night, and for hours I studied on the internet. Lou Holtz, Mike Krzyzewski, anybody that was out there doing, I just watched video after video after video. And then I would go to their speaking pages, and I'm like, okay, how they package this up. Then I look at the books they're writing. Then I said, you know, so then I would just study. And I go, that's what I want to do. I can do that. Everybody with me? Why could I do it? Now, if you told me I want you to go home and study, you know, like I said, geology for 6 hours, come back and tell me which way the wind's going to blow and the rocks are going to, I'd be like, I'm out, man. I don't like fixing cars like some men do. I don't like hunting. I don't fish, although I did go deep sea fishing last week. I mean, I like interaction. I like coaching people to a higher frequency. Does that make sense? So if you said drive 8 hours to Mississippi and talk about something tomorrow, what am I going to talk about? This ain't no freaking practice life. That's what I'm going to talk about. Because that's what I talked about for 3 or 4 years. Everybody see that? Now, without this, you're lukewarm. My wife, lukewarm. Get up, go to a job, sell some cell phones. Don't like it. Don't like people I work with. Don't like my life. My life sucks. But what am I going to do? Everybody see that? What am I supposed to do? Here's what you're supposed to do. Dig in and do the work. What do you love doing? You may say, I love UT sports. I'm okay with that. How can you take that love or passion and make money with it? Because it's not just enough to love something. Like, you can do nonprofit work. That's fine. But even nonprofit people, listen, go down to Publix today and tell them you want to pay them with love. Say, look, man, I got a nonprofit job. I don't have any money. Do they care? Go to the gas station. They probably try to put some gas in your tank and say, look, man, I'm not making a bunch of money. Can y'all just give me the gas? So I don't care what you do for a living. You got to make money. Okay? Now, this is something we don't talk about in the South, which is a huge, huge injustice to you. Right? This building right here alone cost me, I don't know, $50,000, $60,000 a year just to have the building. Then I got the electricity. Then I got the water. Then I got employees. Then I got a videographer. Right? Then I got a television. Then I got a bus. Then I got an airplane. Then I got to go here. All this stuff costs money. Right? So if this is not enough, like I see people go, oh, I really love doing it, but I don't want to do the hard work to do it. Right? Like if you come to me and said, I want to be a basketball coach, you're going to start at the lowest level. You're going to scrub the floors. You're going to carry the head coach's bags. You're going to drive the bus. You're going to vacuum the locker room. You're going to babysit the kids the head coach don't like. Now, so do you love it enough to do that? Because if you don't, What are you going to do? What do most 20 to 30-year-olds do? They're going to start thinking it's all glamorous. Then they're going to go, this sucks, man. And most of them are going to quit. Only to do what? Get on another bus that sucks too. Everybody see what I'm saying? Okay? So love has got to be driven by economics. That means what will they pay you to do? I love it and they're paying me to do it. Some days I have so much fun coaching, especially back in the old days when I first started. Now sometimes people get on my nerves, especially the wimpy people. But when I first started and they were paying me a good amount of money to go give a talk for an hour or to go coach somebody or to write a book or whatever, I was having so much fun, it was almost like I should give the money back to them. I'm like, man, this is so cool. I can't believe you're paying me to do this. Right? I didn't give the money back, but it's almost like I should have. You follow what I'm saying here? Because I needed the money. But my point is, if I don't love it. Now, you're going to hear people, like you're going to hear Grant Cardone, who's a buddy of mine, say, you ain't going to love everything you do. This follow your bliss is a bunch of crap. I didn't love selling. Well, there may be a love that's a byproduct of what you do. Like you do this so you can have this. Does that make sense? Like I don't love everything about my job. Tomorrow I got to get on an airplane. I got to fly to Memphis, Tennessee. I got to give 2 talks. I got to get back on an airplane. I got to go to Kansas City. I got to be away from my wife. I got to be away from my 6-year-old daughter. I don't love that. That's hard. What I love is this part right here. So what am I willing to do to get to do this? Does that make sense? I'm willing to embrace the suck. And the suck is the travel to be able to do what I love doing. But it has to pay me and compensate me. And if it doesn't pay me and compensate me, then I'm going to sit there and go, God, man, this sucks. Everybody with me? If I don't love it, then which part's missing? You don't have to have a passion for selling. Like Lakin selling for me doesn't have a passion for selling. She can have a passion for people. She can have a passion for helping young people go from here to there. She can have a passion for being a part of a group or a team or doing something exciting in the world. She can have a passion for mentorship, which I think all of you need. Like if I didn't do this tonight, y'all should have already been calling me. How do I spend time learning this? How do I get on the bus with you? How do you write a book? How do you get started? How do you start a business? You see what I'm saying? Like you need, if it's not me, you need to have somebody who you're going to for that. So if you don't love it, here's the problem. You don't have this. How successful are you going to be without that? So if he says, I love UT Sports, I start looking at this. How many different ways can you create value so they would compensate you for that? What can you do? Can you raise money for UT? Yes. Could you work in the athletic department? Yes. Could you be an athletic director? Yes, but it's going to take a long time to get there. And are you willing to go? Are you willing to go sell tickets? So that's where you're going to start. And that job's got to suck. Right? You're going to sell tickets. Right? People come up, here's your ticket. I mean, this sucks. Then if you do good for 10 years, then they put you in charge of the tickets. Then after you do that for 10 years, then they say, you know what, we're going to let you have this job in the athletic department as an associate AD, which is way, way on down there. And you're over to tennis, which sucks again. Follow what I'm saying? Then you stay in that job for 10 years. Then they say, you know, you're pretty good. I'm going to make you, a junior AD to me. But you're still not the man. You're still under me. Then after 20 years, they finally say, here you go. Here's the job. After you did 20 years of suck work. Does that make sense? Now, my point to you is if you don't have enough drive and energy and want to for this, as soon as it gets tough and they say, look, you're in this job for 2 years, you're going to quit. 83% of real estate agents quit in the first 2 years. The average agent is selling 7 houses. When you take 7 commission checks, and that's all you got, and you give 50% of that or 60% or 10% to your company, see how much money you got left over on 7 deals. Poverty level. For you to be successful, you got to get to 24 deals, man. Then you got to get to 48 deals. Then you got to get to 60 deals. And I'm coaching agents now doing 120 deals. They're making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. I've got one agent. I got one person I coached last year made $1.7 million as a broker owns his own real estate company. It's out there to be made. You follow what I'm saying? Now, do you love it? And is there an economic engine behind it? You follow what I'm saying? Now, let me throw the second piece of this. What are you good at doing? Let me tell you why this is critical. If you don't do a strengths finder, if you don't find your talents, you may get into real estate only not to be very good at it. Only to find out you're much better over here. You follow what I'm saying here? You may get into financial services only to figure out that's really not the skill set. That's really not the main thing you want to be doing. You may get into commercial lending only to figure out this is really this is it over here. I'm actually really good at this. Like I'm in a period right now just evaluating her skill set for one reason, to put her in the right place on the bus. I may come back at her 90 days from now and say, Lakin, here's what I've assessed about you. You're really good right here. Now here's the problem. We got you doing this. You see what I'm saying? We don't know that in the first 30 days. Like when I'm coaching monster producers, I'm sitting there watching some of them. I'm like, man, I'm confused here because you're doing this and you should be doing this. Like you're telling me you're this, but I'm looking at you going, you're great at this. Everybody with me? Could you love something but not be good at it? It's almost a trick question. So think hard about it. How many people you think believe they're good singers only to listen to them sing and they can't sing at all? Go down to Nashville one night. Go to a karaoke bar. That's comical. Watch people drink a bunch and get up on stage and can't sing at all, but think they're like Shania Twain or something. I'm like, she can't sing at all. But she thinks what? She can sing. I see this a lot. So you can love something but not be good at it. And so let me give you another word. Talent. Now, I'm an old basketball coach, and I had some players that loved playing for me, but were not very good. Everybody see that? Came to practice every day, worked their butt off every day, showed up every day. Then I'd have a player over here that had all the talent in the world, but didn't have any love. And my assistant coaches used to say, Coach, if we could just take the heart out of this one and put it into this one, we'd be in good shape. Here's what I'd say. That's why you're still an assistant coach. Because we can't take the heart out of one and put it in another, genius. We can't pull the heart out of one and give it to the other one, right? Like, how do you know big-time players? And I coached probably the best player in Rutherford County for a long time, Anne-Marie Lanning. Let me tell you what that girl had. She had incredible desire and incredible talent. Does that make sense? She was my best player and my best leader. You see how great that is? A lot of times people's best player ain't their best leader. Their best players are their worst leader. I had the fortune of she was a great player and a great leader, which is why we won a championship. So how do I know what I'm good at? What class did you have in school in figuring this out? So when I was coming up, there was a book called What Color is Your Parachute? And now there's Strengths Finders, which is one of the most popular books in the world, selling millions of copies, like how do you find your strengths? But I'm going to give you my old-fashioned way. How do I find out what you're good at? Why did you get into insurance?
I wanted a job, or I wanted a career, not a job.
Okay. And you believe insurance is that career that you're looking for?
I think it has a lot of potential.
How long you been in it?
Since last July.
Okay. So you believe you're on the right bus in life, doing the right thing. How many of you have ever been on the wrong bus, doing the wrong thing? Why do we do it? Got bills to pay. So is it possible for you to find something you love doing versus be good at it and make a bunch of money at it? Yes or no? Yes. Look at athletes, entertainers. Entertainers, you think they love what they do for a living? You ever gone to a great concert and watched entertainers perform and do what they do best? You know they're making a lot of money doing exactly what they love doing, right? They're playing music. So it is possible. You're going to hear people say, it ain't possible, suck it up, work at a sucky job for 10 or 20 years, hate it. You see what I'm saying? But make money with it. I just disagree with that, man. Life is too short to do something you hate doing for 30 years. My dad did something he hated doing for 30 years. Worked at a factory, hated it every day, couldn't wait till retirement. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Why would you spend all that time, okay? So let's finish up with this. Love, good at, economics. Here's my last piece. What does your conscience tell you? Now, this is important. People ask me to get involved in all kinds of businesses. Would you like to be an investor in this business? Would you like to be... People are now asking me would I like to be in business, an investor in the hemp business. Is that marijuana?
Part of it.
Marijuana business, because it's legal in certain places now. And people have called me and said, well, you'd like to be an investor in this type of business. We're raising $50,000 for a 20% stake in this legal marijuana business. And I'm like, no, man. I don't need to be in that business. I don't care if you come back and tell me I can make $10 million. My conscience won't let me do that. Does that make sense? This is like, what are you supposed to be doing on planet Earth? This is much bigger than just a job. This is like my little internal voice telling me, Coach Burt, you're supposed to be doing this. For 2 years, my little internal voice is telling me, work with 20 to 30-year-olds. Do something for them. It's just now happening. And it probably wouldn't happen if she wouldn't come work with me. I just kept, no. What did I say? They ain't got any money. That's what my business voice was telling me. They ain't got any money. Why would I work with them? Right? Which is partly true. It's unusual for a person 20 to 30 to have a lot of money. I didn't have any money, right? But my conscience was saying, do something for this group. Right? Now, what happens when you don't listen to this? That's right. So when you don't listen to your conscience, you do unethical things. And what if I told you some of the business people I deal with every day do unethical things? They manipulate people to sell something. They promise you one thing and don't come through with it. They make deals that they don't follow through on. A big problem we have here is they don't pay their bills. My AR monthly is sometimes $75,000 to $100,000. Y'all know what that means? That means my clients that are supposed to be paid or coming to get coached are not paying their coaching fees. So we've got declined credit cards. We've got people that we can't find. We got people that just will spend their money on something else versus pay us like they're supposed to. It's very unethical to take advantage of something and not pay for it. You understand what I'm saying? But I see it every day, man. I literally see it every day. I could show you the AR and show you how many people owe us money. And that, now I need that $100,000. Why? Pay bills. Pay my team. Fly on the jet. Jet fuel's expensive, you know? Here's my point. We need that money coming in. So what do we got to do? We got to go collect it, man. We're like, hey, what's going on with you? Why? Well, I had a bad month. I'm slow, and I don't have any money, and you know. But then I see on Facebook, oh yeah, you out at a concert. You got a box at Bridgestone. You're driving a Ferrari. You know, we had a guy last year said I can't pay my bills, and I'm watching on Facebook and put a $75,000 pool house at his house. Guess where he saw the pool house to put at his house? At my house. He came to an event at my house and said, I love your pool house, Coach Burt. So he quit paying his coaching fees and built his and he put it on Facebook. And I'm like, dude, how unethical is that? Like, you know, like you have a contract, like you committed to us. We committed to you. I let you come over my house for God's sakes. And now you're not even pay me? This is what I see every day, man. So do you think the 20 to 30-year-old struggles with ethics from time to time, yes or no? Absolutely. I did too, from 20 to 30. I struggled with ethics. I was so competitive. I wanted to win so bad. It's so easy to be unethical. You follow what I'm saying? So this is a big piece of this equation, but this is this part. Conscience. Now, how hard do you think this will be to figure out? You think you figured it out in a night? No. How long do you think you figured it out? Why did you get into real estate?
Looking for, what do you call it, financial freedom.
Yeah. What does financial freedom mean?
To me, basically the freedom to, pay for the things I want and do the things I want. So, have my own time.
Yeah. So how many houses do you have to sell to get that? There's one at calling right now. How many houses do you have to sell to get that?
Right now I'm looking at 24.
Yeah, that's a good start place, right? Here's financial freedom to me. I got enough money in the bank that if I don't want to do anything for the rest of my life, I don't have to. That's financial freedom. Everybody with me? I'm not saying debt's bad, because I use debt to buy real estate. A lot of people use debt to buy real estate and build wealth, right? Because you're using the bank's money, a little bit of your money. A lot of wealthy people do that. But financial freedom to me is waking up and going, I can do whatever I want to. Now, what I may want to do is go coach all day long. But I have the option. So let me end with this, and I'll do a little Q&A. How do I get that? Because this is the part people miss. Okay? Where does that financial freedom come from? It comes from my work. So think about this. To build wealth, okay? To build wealth, I don't know what your definition of wealth is, okay? I'm worth about $4.5 to $5 million right now. That's my net worth. You follow what I'm saying? When I was a basketball coach, I was worth $30,000 or $40,000. So my net worth has significantly gone up over the last X number of years, primarily because of the real estate holdings I have. My real estate has driven up my net worth. Does that make sense? And my coaching business. But that ain't enough. I couldn't retire today on that and do nothing. It needs to be $20 million. You understand what I'm saying here? Because I'm 42 years old. I got a lot of life ahead of me. So it ain't even close. So if I said, Mr. McAlexander, I need to, I love it, man. I love that name. If I said, I want to retire at 45 years old, here's the deal. We got to go out and sell a bunch more of these right here. We ain't even close to being able to retire and support my wife and my daughter and send her to college and do whatever else she wants to do, right? So where does that money come from? Because this is the part people struggle with. A good business, the way you build wealth, is you go out and produce, you sell. At the end of the day, you sell. And you bring in enough money that after you've paid all of your expenses of your lifestyle, you still have a bunch of money sitting over here. Okay? So money comes in, I pay my house, my car, my home, and then at the end of the month, if it works the way it should, we got a big old stack of money over here. Use that money, go buy things that build wealth or invest in the market or whatever you choose to do, right? But what's the first problem? Most people never sell enough. So here's what they do. Bring money in, spend all of it, use credit card debt. They got nothing sitting over here to build wealth. Okay? So for you, I tell you, to really build financial freedom, you need to be selling 48, 60 houses a year, 100 houses a year. You need to be stockpiling cash. I mean stockpiling cash over here. So you're building and building and building and building and building. And then by the time you're 30 years old or 40 years old, you got some significant money. Now I'm not saying keep it in a bank account, because that'd be stupid. I'm saying take the money, let it accumulate, and then start purchasing assets that will feed you money for the rest of your life. Okay? You know, my property in Florida, we got a 9-bedroom house in Florida. It's going to bring in $300,000 to $400,000 a year. We're going to pay down the debt. We use it for retreats, so we make money with the retreats. I make money by renting it. I will probably make $50,000 to $100,000 personally off that property. And here's the deal. I don't even do anything with it. My wife runs it. She rents it. So on a $1.6 million investment, which required $200,000 of cash from me up front, if I made back 50 to 100 in my first year, let me go to Mr. Dunn. Would that be a good investment? If I put 200,000 in and in year one got 100,000 back, I'd say it's a pretty dang good investment. So here's my thought process. How do I have 10 of those? Well, let me go back to one more thing. Where did the money come from to go down, be able to go down to Seaside, buy the house? From my coaching business. Everybody understand what I'm saying? My primary love. My primary thing I'm good at. Drives my economic engine, what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. Everybody see that? Because most people I coach do not have any excess money left over. So guess what? They can't build any wealth because they don't have any cash. Why do they not have cash? Because they can't sell anything. The better you are at selling something, the more money you're going to make. Everybody with me? Now, so here's our assignment. I want you to work on this right here. I want you to spend time on this. How many of you think you're on the right bus in life right now? Yeah, that's okay. Do you think this is what you're... That may change, by the way. At 25 years old, I would have told you this. I ain't going to do nothing but coach kids the rest of my life. I'm going to coach at Riverdale. I'm going to win championship. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to be a major Division I coach. That's all I wanted to do. Then, 25, I start writing books. I start speaking. I go, this is cool, man. I like this. Then at 31 years old, I'm like, I'm ready to move on to something else. Let's go build something. Let's go build a company. So your passions can change. Everybody with me? I had a person say this, what you want at 20, you may not want at 40. What you want at 40, you may not want at 60. But the faster you can get on the right bus, and the faster you can, is how you're going to accelerate. Because if you study Warren Buffett, what does he say? How to build wealth? He talks about a snowball effect. What does he say? A long hill, right? A long hill and a big snowball. The way he's built wealth is long time, not quick, long. I call it long obedience in the same direction. Okay? All right, what questions do you have? There are no dumb questions, by the way. Okay? There's only dumb people that ask questions. I'm just kidding. I like joking with you guys. Y'all are a lot of fun. What's your question, Mark? You got something? Ask good questions. Let me tell you something. Secret to life, ask great questions. When I'm with a dude worth $400 million and some of my buddies are worth that much money, I ask great questions. You know what I do? I prepare questions before I get around them. And when I get around them, I'm like, man, I'm going to ask this dude this question. What's your investment strategy? How much money did you have when you started investing? Do you buy real estate? What kind of real estate do you buy? How many years have you been in this before you saw a breakthrough? I'm just sucking it out of them, right? Because you don't get a chance to be around $400 million dudes much. So the big key to life is, I keep coming back to you. You ought to be talking to the #1 real estate agent at your company. How do you attack a day? What time do you wake up? How hard do you work? How many calls do you make? How do you follow up? Question.
So, I've been a monster producer and
Yes.
teams, and I'm in all of it. But, so I guess my question for you is, I get a lot of that guidance and questions answered on an everyday basis, but, still in our industry, there are those days where you really don't want to pick up the phone and make those 25 phone calls.
Sure.
How do you push through those days where you kind of have mental block, but you
Yeah.
have to do X,
Great.
Y, and Z to
I
be
love the
successful?
question. Love the question. And if I didn't like Gabe so much, you'd be working with me. I'm telling you. Here's the deal. I have trained myself not to listen to my feelings. Amateurs listen to their feelings. Professionals could care less about their feelings. I treat myself like a big-time athlete. Okay? Big-time athletes don't show up and go, I don't feel like playing today, so I'm not going to play hard. There are days they don't feel like playing. Let me ask you this. You work with me every day. You see how hard I go every day. Do you think I wake up every day and I'm like, damn, I can't wait to go do this again? I wake up some days mad, tired, exhausted, and I'm like, I got to go do this. Listen, when I book something, and I'm booking things into 2019, when I commit to go to South Africa, okay, let me tell you something. I don't particularly want to go to South Africa. It's dangerous. They tell me I got to have ransom insurance. What's up with that? I got to have 4 military bodyguards with me the whole time I'm there because it's dangerous. And I'm sitting there like, man, do I really want to do it? And then I think about how much money they're paying me to come do it. And I'm like, suck it up, buttercup. I mean, really, it's a ridiculous amount of money. But like I'm talking to people and they're like, man, it's dangerous in South Africa. Like certain parts are really dangerous. Like you need, like they routinely take people hostage for ransom. So like in my contract that they sent me, it says 4 military grade bodyguards the whole time you're there. I'm like, man, I'm telling my wife's all freaked out about it. She's like, and you're going to go do it? I'm like, you like living in this big house? I got to go do it. You ain't got to go, but I got it. Somebody's got to go. So my point to you is, this is how I classify amateurs versus professionals. Amateurs want to quit early. They meet some resistance, and it ain't easy, and they take the easy way out. They quit. Okay? Professionals go, big-time people show up every day whether they feel like it or not. I don't want to make sales calls any more than you do. Does that make sense? Like, I don't love making sales calls. What I love is the lifestyle that I've been afforded to live. I mean, tomorrow we're flying on a private jet, my jet, okay, that I own. That ain't common. You understand what I'm saying? But how did I get the jet? I had to sell enough coaching, right? So do I want to fly commercial to Memphis, or be in a bus for 4 hours to Memphis, or do I want to get there in 27 minutes and take 5 of my best customers with me? By the way, we're charging people $800 a ticket to ride with me tomorrow. There are people paying $800 just to go with me. That pays for some of the jet. I think the jet's going to cost me $8,800 for me to go to Memphis and then go from Memphis to Kansas City. Almost $9,000. I could get on Southwest for $99. But have you flown on Southwest? Okay, you don't do it but a few times. But my point, I guess my point to you is, does that make sense? I don't listen to my feelings, because my feelings are telling me, get back in the bed, don't go work out at the gym, be lazy, it's raining outside, can't you just take a day off? That's what my feelings are telling me. And I tell people, I'm not fighting with you, I'm fighting with your feelings. I ain't fighting with you. It's your feelings that I'm right? I'm trying to get you to that level that you can show up every day like an animal if you want to go get it, right? If you truly want to go get it. If you don't want to go get it, then there's a lot of things you can do to get sidetracked. I got buddies, goof off, drink beer, waste time, just do nothing with their lives, right? And they're not serious about anything. I mean, they can't keep a job. They can't. I got friends like that just underachieve every day. I'm like, man, what's wrong with you? You're 40-something years old. So I think that's a big takeaway tonight is tomorrow you're going to wake up and be tired and not want to do something, not want to make those 25 calls. Your desire to stay where you are, your desire to move to where you want to go has got to be greater than your desire to stay where you're at. Your ability to do the inconvenient things that it takes to be successful is going to separate you from other people. Okay? Other questions? Yeah. Oh, we got a question online. Hope they're not in South Africa.
Online. He says, no, I don't know where he's at. He says, how do you know if you are absolutely sure what you're doing is what you want to be doing? He wants to get on the right hustle.
That's a great question. Here's the deal. How do I know? It's called unique ability. At the intersection of these things right here, this is at the vortex of this. This is what's called unique ability. At the intersection of love, talent, this. That's this right here. When you're doing it, guess what it does? Gives you energy. You could do it for hours. Remember me asking you, what would you drive 2 states over to talk to, right? If you really loved it, here's what you say. I don't care if one person's there. I'm doing it. I could do it for hours. So if you're truly in your unique ability area, it should compound your energy. Other people are going to say, you're really good at this. You're going to get feedback from the market. You're going to want it more of it. It's like a drug. Like you're going to want more. Like you see Vaynerchuk, or if you follow Vaynerchuk, he talks about he loves working. He loves the grind. He loves people. He loves, like it don't matter how exhausted he looks. And look at how tired the dude looks. He's not sleeping much. He's all over the place. He's on Snapchat every 5 minutes and Instagram. And but here's what he said. He loves the grind, man. He loves getting in the dirt. He loves playing in the clouds and getting in the dirt. That's what he loves doing. So he knows, like this is it. I knew the second I started coaching at 15 years old, this is it. And that's all I've been doing for the last 27 years. Now, let me ask you a question. How good can you become at something when you do it for 27 years? Right? I tell my monster producers, for the people who earn over $1 million a year, personal income, they're real good. They ain't kind of good. And they got big engines. And we got people in here every day that are earning over $1 million a year. in our coaching program. You're sitting beside some of them in class. But you know what? They're not pretenders. Like, they show up every day. They're real good. So you got to ask yourself, how good can you become? And if you're doing something and it just sucks all the life out of you, you're probably not on the right bus. Now, I do think you're going to have to do different jobs to figure some of this out. I think you're going to try this and say, this sucks. You're going to try this and do this. You're going to try this and do this. So I understand why you got to change from time to time, but I do think, I have a theory, I'm going to write a book on this called Go for the Mentor Over the Money. One of the biggest mistakes I think 20 to 30-year-olds do is they go for money early. And that money may be $100,000. But when you get to the level I'm at, $100,000 is nothing. It's like a little baby money. Okay? You work with me. I really believe if she works with me and sticks with me, I'm sure I'll make $1 million a year. Okay? We got a guy sitting back there in the room working with me, Eric White. He's going to make more money this year than you've ever made in your whole life. Yes or no? Yes. How old are you? 47 years old. And this year, in 1 year with me, will make more money than he's ever made in his whole life. But he shows up every day. Grind it out, man. Just a dang grinder. And he listens to me. And I'm like, look, do this. No, don't do that. Don't say this. Do this. And he tries it. Right? I mean, he'll try whatever I tell him. If I said, look, right now, go up on top of this building, jump up and down like a dog, yell, because you could sell more if you howl at the moon at night. You know what he'd do? He'd be up on top of the building. But that's why he's going to make more money than he's ever made in his life. He's coachable. Everybody with me? So I guess what I'm telling you is when you find this, it's going to be like, whoa, this is it. So go for the mentor over the money means in the short term, don't just think about money. Think about who's going to prepare me to do something big on planet Earth. See, Tommy Davidson sent Lakin to me, and he told her, you have a lot of talent and a potential, but you need to work under somebody who really performs at high levels. Is that what he told you? You need to go be mentored by somebody who can push you and challenge you. And it ain't going to be easy. It's going to be very uncomfortable for you. But if you want to be great, right, this is what it takes. Mentor over the money. So if I told you today, you're not going to get paid for a year in real estate, pay a little bit, but I'm going to let you work side by side a dude making $1 million a year selling real estate. And for 1 year, you're going to learn everything you need to know. And that 1 year is going to just blow your life up. Would you do it? Yeah. Okay. Now, let me tell you something, because a lot of people wouldn't. Here's what they say. No, I lived at home with my mother when I got the job at Riverdale. I was 22 years old, never had a job in my life. And I said, I don't care where I live, man. My focus is on this job. You follow what I'm saying? And then I got up with a little bit of money. Then I got my first little crappy apartment. And I say crappy, colony house. Okay? I know what that is? It's in the hood. It's trashy. I thought it was a big deal. My point is, I was so hungry to be under somebody who was good, it didn't matter to me where I lived at. That's all secondary. It didn't matter to me what I drove. I ain't got to drive a fancy car. I just need to learn, right? So how did that set me up? Look at how it set me up later in life, okay? Any more questions? So how does this work? Here's what I'd like for this to be. This is a coaching program. If you're already in the coaching program, you understand what I'm saying. But what I'd like to do is set this up to where you have access to Monster Producer, because this is a very big part of success, getting around successful people. You need to be around not always your age. You need to be around a dude and a woman that's clicking on every cylinder. So the way we've set this Monster Young Professional up is we're offering you a chance to be in the coaching program in Monster Producer. That program is $4.99 a month for the big monsters. Okay? For the Monster Young Professionals, we priced it at $2.99 a month. Okay? But that includes special time with me monthly, sessions like this. I'm going to take you with me on the bus and on the plane. So there's going to be time for you to travel with me. I don't know if you've ever flown a private jet before, doing 500 miles an hour. Okay? But it's cool. Yes? Have you gone with me yet? Okay. So Lakin's gone with me. Yeah, you went with me. Here's the deal. It's a cool deal. what I want to do is I want to spend time with you. I want to say, look, I'm going to Knoxville. Get on the bus and ride with me. See me going to a new market. I'm going to Chattanooga. I'm going to Houston. You see what I'm saying? So part of Monster Young Professional is we're going to do a session like this every month. We're going to do some social sessions, and you get access to Monster Producer. Everybody understand what I'm saying? So you get access to my big coaching program, which has 700 people in it and meets monthly. I do about 6 or 7 sessions a month. So imagine this place with 50 people in it. I mean, it's popping. It's the smartest people in Middle Tennessee. You get access to that as part of Monster Young Professional. So if you're interested in being in that, we're going to meet, right? Get big Monster Producer, you get baby Monster Producer, right? Plus you get special access to me because I really have a heart to help you. So I want to give you some access to me I wouldn't give. I'm charging these people $800 tomorrow to go with me, right? So what I'm saying for young professionals is I'm going to have a spot on the plane. I'm going to say, look, I'm going to take this young professional with me to see what it's like to go over to Memphis and speak. I'm speaking to real estate people, mortgage people. I'm doing a book launch tomorrow in Memphis on this. So it's a cool deal. So if you're interested in it, just let Lakin know. She's going to be heading up this program. If you need to come back next month and see it again, or if the money's an issue for you, just tell me. We had a woman today that came to Monster Producer that said, I want to do it, I just can't do it at that level. And you know what we said? We'll work with you. Right? I mean, don't take advantage of me. If you're sitting on a bunch of cash, don't hold out on me and say you broke. But listen, I'll end with this. At 25 years old, I wanted to go through a course that was a week long. It was 30 hours. And I didn't have the money. It's $2,500. And I went to my mother and I said, Mom, this can change my whole life. Will you loan me the money? And she said, absolutely, if you feel that strongly about it. She gave me the $2,500. I went and took the course. The course was the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Changed my whole life. I became a certified instructor of that. And E said it today, changed your whole deal, didn't it? Changed my whole life, man. I paid my mom back monthly, some little bitty amount, amortized over a long time. But what if my mom said no? So I think sometimes in life, if you don't have the money, you can find the money. You can get somebody to sponsor you. You can get. Now, the reason I can't do it for free is because I don't think people value things when they're free. I think when you have skin in the game, it forces you to commit. You don't commit when it's free. And my time has got a value on it, okay? For me to spend this much time and energy with you, I mean, and it ain't really compensated me that much money. It's just a little skin in the game for you. Now, it may help us if we get 50 young professionals in here, right? And it gives Lakin, what I'm most proud is to give her a program to be her own. Like it's hers, right? Like I want her to be successful with this, because she's a young professional just like you are. Okay? Does anybody have any questions?
Do you want to tell them that every Monster Producer month they have its own theme, so like you're doing monthly mental toughness this month?
Yeah. Every month, think of Monster Producer as a comprehensive coaching program where, like, I teach 3 times a month here. There'll be a room of 50 people. Now, what's the benefit of having 50 people in the room? What can you do? Sell them something. Get their business, right? I'm bringing them to you. All you got to do is talk to them. So we can sell them insurance and sell them commercial lending, sell them whatever, okay? Sell them houses. I'm bringing them in the room. All you got to do is get to know them and talk to them. Spend time with them. So every month I teach 3 times here in Murfreesboro, and I teach one concept. Like this month, it's mental toughness. It's a lot from this book, Inside the Mind of a Monster. And every month I pound on that concept. So you're in a private Facebook group. I'm doing coaching in that private Facebook group almost every day. Every Monday I do an accountability session at 4:30. So you log on, you watch me, I'm giving you coaching, I'll call on you, ask you questions, hold you accountable. Every Tuesday and Thursday I do a little rhythm in the private Facebook group. I do Facebook Lives in there all the time. And then I go over to Cool Springs and teach it again. So what would I tell you? Come to the one in Murfreesboro and go to the one in Cool Springs. Then I go to Hendersonville and teach it again if you want to go over there. Then I go to Knoxville, then I go to Chattanooga, then I go to Houston. Okay? So when you're in the program, you got access to all that. She's in a program called Monster Teams, so every month I do a little event for their teams. And so she came today to Monster Teams. Our team sits there and works together. And so just imagine me in this coaching program, just imagine me moving in with you, because that's what it's like. Right? Okay? All right. Now, main thing, I want to make sure you got everybody's information. Okay? If you're interested or you want to talk to me or you want to talk to Lakin, I don't want to hard sell you or pressure you into anything. My belief is anybody you got to beg to get in are always the first one trying to get out. Does that make sense? So this is a commitment. Now, what I do with the young professional is I give you a different option than the older folks. I give you a 6-month option. I don't give that to the big monster producers. They have to sign a 1-year agreement. So with you, I give you 6 months. So 6 months, $300 a month, you spend $1,800 total dollars. And you're in monster. At 6 months, if you love it, you say, look, let's do it again, another 6 months. But everybody that's in there here, the big boys, big girls program, they have to sign a 1-year contract for me to coach them. Okay, so we just extend that to you because we know you're young and getting started. We give you a lower price point, plus we give you a lower commitment level. And so, you know, some of you, your bosses will pay for it. Some of you go back to your boss and say, look, I want to be part of this, man. This is young professional. I'm going to be networking. They'll pay for it. If she came to me and said, look, there's something that can really help me be much better at my job. Can you help me with it? I'd say yes. Just show me how I can help you, and I'm open to it. You follow what I'm saying here? Okay. Any questions for anybody? It's been a good night. Okay.
My goal for next month is for y'all to definitely show up, bring people with you,
Yep.
spread the word. You know someone that needs to experience the same thing that you experienced tonight, we need to get that out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Is this different than most young professional events?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's what I want. Listen, if y'all want me to, I can bring booze and wine in and put it in the back if that makes you feel better. But let me tell you what I'm here for. But let me tell you what I'm here. There's a time and place for that, but I'm here to get you better, man. I'm here to coach the heck out of you. We can do all that other stuff anytime. Okay? We can do it. So I don't want the primary role just to be socializer. Y'all can get that at other places. I want it to be, I'm pouring everything I got in me into you. And I'm doing it month after month after month. Fair enough? All right. God bless you guys. Thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for coming to the Greatness Factory. Notice it didn't say Mediocre Factory. Or Complacency Factory. Right?